In the meantime, 8:14 here. And the battle over brothels, it continues in Queens, where hundreds gathered along Roosevelt Avenue to clean up their community.
And Mayor Eric Adams says he has no plans to step down, but now we're talking to one of the people who could actually remove him from office. Queens Borough President Donovan Richards joining us this morning to talk about a lot of things going on in New York City. You missed a minute, you missed a lot. Borough President, great to see you.
Good morning.
And I want to begin, of course, with the news around City Hall. Mayor Adams defiant that he is staying in place, even though he is indicted, and now he's losing top members of administration. Now we just this morning hearing that the deputy mayor, Phil Banks, has resigned, right? First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright could resign sometime this week. When you look at all of this, should he step down? And then I want to get into what you are on, which is this Mayor Inability Committee, which many people don't know about.
Well, I'm going to refrain from commenting, being that I am on the Inability Committee, which can remove the mayor. What I'll say is, in Queens, we are functioning. You know, we're working with all of the specific agencies, from sanitation to the police department, to make sure that we are uninterrupted when it comes to services from the city. And we'll have a lot more to say in the days to come. But right now, you know, the mayor certainly deserves due process, like anybody who's going through a legal case. Whether it's the mayor or whether it's somebody in Queens, we want them to have their due process in the courtroom.
And Borough President, can you say if you have spoken to those committee members at this time?
I mean, there are a lot of conversations ongoing. You know, I've spoken to the governor on down to people who are on the Inability Committee, and, you know, we'll keep, once again, those conversations private, of course. But the most important thing is to make sure that our government is functioning, and we are working extremely hard to make sure, once again, that services are uninterrupted.
Yeah, and I want to get to issues affecting Queens, but for those New Yorkers who don't know, right, Governor Hochul could remove the mayor from office. That's one avenue. He could resign. And then there's this committee. So I know you don't want to talk too much about the conversations being had, but can you briefly just talk about what this committee is? Because it's rather unknown to so many New Yorkers.
Yeah, so the charter gives the power to the longest-serving borough president, a deputy mayor, the mayor's chief counsel, the speaker of the city council, and of course the comptroller of the city of New York. And this is a committee that can be comprised if we deem that the mayor is unable to carry out his duties. You know, there's a lot of legal jargon around it, so I don't want to get into the specifics on it. But this committee can, once again, remove the mayor.
Okay.
All right. So moving on to that big community rally yesterday along Roosevelt Avenue over these illegal brothels, which just keep popping up even after the NYPD comes in and shuts them down. It seems like these businesses are just not deterred by these raids. Is there an increased police presence in these areas?
Well, insanity is the definition to keep doing the same thing over and over again, thinking you're going to get different results. And you can't incarcerate your way out of this issue. One of the things we have to do is scale the economy up in that part of Queens, which is why we inked a very strong deal on a new soccer stadium coming in, some housing coming in. And this is not a new issue. You know, this issue around the brothels and prostitution has lingered in this community going back over 15 years. So you can't incarcerate your way out of it. The most important thing we can do is scale up the economy. And also we are working with community-based organizations like Make the Road. I funded a community center there to the tune of close to $3 million, which will enable us to really get training into people's hands, to really get the workforce going, and to try to address some of these issues. But once again, it's whack-a-mole. You close down a brothel here, it opens up somewhere else. The most important thing we can do is to make sure that the services are there and that there's the economy gets a jolt there, most importantly.
All right, I want to talk about the ongoing public nuisance complaints that are coming in right now about the migrants in Long Island City, right? A lot of folks are talking about this. What are you doing and who are you working with to make sure some of those complaints are addressed?
Well, we're working with the state extremely closely, but the problem is you have to have services, and the bigger issue is that a lot of the migrants who've come in, newcomers who've come in, can't work. They really want to work, and I also just want to put a name and face to some of the individuals who are in these hotels. A lot of them are women and children. They've come into the city trying to work. They've left a life in other countries where they are being targeted. And we need to make sure that they can get to work, that the services are there, But I am proud of many of the children here are adjusting into the public school system. You wouldn't know that they're even newcomers coming in.
Okay.
I want to thank the schools for that. But the bottom line is that there are a lot of quality of life issues, and until people can work, we're just spinning our heels.
All right, Queens Borough President Donovan Richards, thank you so much for your time joining us on this Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.